Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a really lovely little mini sequence on the floor. So if you're a beginner and you're just kind of getting a handle on the breathing, this will be a really lovely little floor sequence for you. So we're going to start on the floor, lying down with our feet facing forwards, knees are going to be hip distance apart, and we're just going to come down. If you've got a block at home or even a cushion, sometimes just placing that in between your knees can be really helpful so that you don't end up like bringing your knees together basically. So if you've got one of those, you can use those, or if not, you can just have a little look at your knees, check the hip distance apart. For the floor position here, you do want to have a little space in your lower back, between your lower back and the floor, so we're not completely rounded with the lower back flat to the floor like this. So do just make sure that your hip bones and your pubic bone are making a triangle, and that triangle is pretty much facing towards the ceiling, so you should find that you're not rolling through and kind of tipping up at the front basically. So that's the only thing I want you to check with your back. If you do feel like you have got quite a curve in your back, which some people do have, and particularly after pregnancy, just make sure that you can feel the back of your rib cage on the floor and that you haven't arched up and through like this. So just check you can feel the back of your rib cage on the floor, and then you're just going to have your arms nice and relaxed here. I'm just going to quickly talk through the breathing just before we start. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, 360. So you're going to aim the air into the sides and into the back of your rib cage. You'll have some natural movement at the front anyway. You're going to keep your tummy nice and still if you can. So really focusing on breathing through the rib cage rather than through the belly. We're going to take the inhale nice and slowly for 3, so it'll be a nice smooth inhale at the same strength through your nose, and then when we exhale it's going to be roughly for 5 or 6. It's going to be slower, it's not forced. We don't want to push all the air out or try and empty the lungs. We're just exhaling, almost like misting a window, and then we'll do 3 of those, and then on the 3rd exhale we'll pause, soften the tummy, just give yourself a couple of seconds to do that, and then we'll stretch the ribs sideways towards your hands, almost like you're taking in a breath but you're not, but you can just literally cue that by thinking stretching your ribs towards your hands and opening up through the rib cage. So have your hands, move your hands to around your rib cage now. So you've got your fingers towards the front, thumbs towards the back. You're going to look straight up at the ceiling. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed on the floor. Check your knees haven't moved together. So check the hip distance apart. And you're going to just gently start the breathing here. So inhale through your nose for 3. Exhale through your mouth. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then one more inhale here. Exhale. You're going to hold your breath, pause, soften your tummy, stretch your ribs sideways. And then when you're ready to breathe, just breathe into the sides of your ribs again to come out of the vacuum. Don't let the ribs drop down first, just literally breathe into the sides. And you can hold your breath for as long or as little as you like. Obviously you've got the exhale, then you're going to hold your breath and pause for a couple of seconds and then do the rib stretch. So you may find you're only like doing the rib stretch for a couple of seconds. You may find that you're trying to stretch your ribs, nothing's really happening. You need to keep your tummy really nice and relaxed to get the rib stretch. So just check in with your tummy, check you've softened it, and then you should find that that's a little bit easier to start to feel that movement through the rib cage for the vacuum. So let's do another one here. So inhale through your nose for 3. And exhale through your mouth. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. And then we're going to do one more here. Feel the ribs coming back down on the exhale. Going to hold your breath, pause, soften your tummy, and then stretch your ribs towards your hands. then breathe into the sides to come out. So you're going to want to breathe in. If you find that you don't have that urge to breathe in, you may just be like sneaking in a bit of air through your nose, because obviously we're creating low pressure in the tummy and the pelvic area. So the flow of air is basically, the air is just going to want to flow in. So you might want to think about kind of just gently blocking off the back of your nose or your throat, just to make sure you're not sneaking in any air. But you should feel like you've got that desire to breathe in, to come out of the breath holds. So let's try another one. So hands again around your rib cage. Inhale. And exhale. Ribs are coming back down, breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale, so keep everything nice and smooth. And then one more inhale here. Exhale. And you're going to hold your breath, pause, soften your tummy, stretch your ribs towards your hands. And then breathe in. So you'll feel a little bit more expansion as you breathe in as well. So something that's really, really nice to do is actually to have your hands a little bit more to the front of the rib cage, so you can feel what's happening to the tummy area here. You should feel that there is a little bit of a dipping at the top of your tummy. Everyone's vacuum looks different and you may not notice very much, but sometimes if you can just have your hands around your rib cage, you can almost just gently stroke your tummy and just gently feel like you're just expanding just a little tiny bit more through the rib cage. So I'll show you what I mean here. So I'll come into the vacuum. You can almost just help your rib cage just almost know what to do. It can help just really relax the tummy, and it can also help just with any sort of fascia release, just to gently move the ribs just a little bit more. You don't want it to hurt, it shouldn't hurt. So if you feel like you've actually got quite a good rib stretch anyway, or that it's just about where you are at this stage in your progress, then don't try and get anything more. We're just thinking maybe a millimetre or two here, just to get a little bit more movement through. So we'll do that again. This time we'll just do the fingers moving just very gently up the tummy to just engage a little bit more with the rib stretch here. So inhale. And exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. And then one more breath in here. Keep the tummy nice and still. Exhale. Ribs are coming back down. You're going to hold your breath, pause, do your rib stretch, and then just move your fingers like I'm going to show you here. And then breathe in as you come out of the breath hold. Okay, so we're just going to start to just build this pose really nice and slowly. So the first thing we're going to do is feel a sense of length all the way through our spines, and this is without arching the back. So it's really, really subtle, but it does make a difference, particularly in the sitting positions and the other more active poses. So you're going to still look straight up at the ceiling, but just feel that you're gently lengthening through your spine, and we'll do the same again here. So inhale. And exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. As you exhale, think about that length through your spine. And then one more here. Exhale. And then you're going to hold your breath, pause, slowly stretch your ribs. And then breathe in as you come out. Super. Okay, so we're going to just keep building this pose just a little bit more. So the next thing we're going to do is just tuck our toes up a little bit. This dorsiflexion of the ankles does engage through the front of our legs, through into our core, and also through the back of our legs, through our glutes, as well. It actually does automatically switch on our pelvic floor by just tucking the toes up, which is really interesting. So again, just check your knees are hip distance apart, that they haven't moved together. And if you want to, and you don't have to, you can just gently draw your heels towards the floor. But you want to make sure that when you've done that, you haven't tipped your back and like put your lower back into the floor. So everything stays really nice and still, and you just literally think about that length of your spine, tuck your toes up, gently draw them slightly towards the floor, just to feel a little bit more activation through the back of the legs, or you can just tuck the toes up and not worry about pushing the heels into the floor. Either is fine. So hand around your rib cage again. We'll do 3 nice slow breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Ribs are coming back in, and again breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. So exhale almost like you're misting a window. And then one more here. You're going to exhale. Hold your breath, pause. Slowly stretch your ribs towards your hands. And then inhale and exhale. And let's do another one here. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. One more breath here. Hold your breath, pause. Slowly stretch your ribs towards your hands. And breathe into the sides of your ribs when you're ready to come out. Super. So you can keep your toes tucked up if you want, or you can just pop them down on the floor now just to have a little bit of a rest. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start to build the pose just a little bit more. So we're going to have our hands in first position here. And then when you're ready to do the rib stretch, you're just going to pop your hands back down onto your rib cage, and we're going to work through 3 arm positions here. So you've got one here, hands towards your legs. So again, you want to keep about 30% tension through the pose, through the arms, so they're not tightened like this. They're actually just literally, for me, holding my arms in that position is plenty of tension, and you're just gently resting your shoulders down. The next arm position is palms towards the ceiling. Again, shoulders are relaxed into the floor, but you're making like a diamond circle with your arms. Fingertips are about a hand length apart. And then without arching your back, the third position, the arms come back to here. So you soften your shoulders into the floor, gently pressing your arms away. And again, for me, I don't need to add in any more tension here. My arms are working quite hard. So I'm just literally holding them gently in that position, and they are naturally tensioning on their own. So we'll start with the arms in first position here. Check your back position, check you haven't arched, check you're lengthening all the way through your spine. Feet are nice and relaxed on the floor, or you can tuck them up with about 20 to 30% tension if you want to. I'm going to keep mine flat. And again, if you've got a block, you can pop that in between your knees. So hands gently pressing towards your legs. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. So no forcing out of the air. Inhale. So on this exhale, you're going to pop your hands back onto your rib cage. You're going to hold your breath, pause, stretch your ribs towards your hands. Inhale, exhale to come out of that. And then you're just going to bring your hands from here, just float them up into second position here. So shoulders are on the floor, hands gently pressing towards the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. One more here. Hands come back down onto your rib cage. Hold your breath, pause. Slowly stretch your ribs. Breathing in to come out of it, and then the last position, so hands are pressing away, shoulders relaxed onto the ground, looking up at the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Thinking about breathing all the way through your rib cage, 360 breath. And exhale. And then one more here. Exhale, so arms are going to come back down onto the rib cage. You're going to hold your breath, pause, slowly stretch your ribs here. And then inhale and exhale, take a nice slow normal breath. Super, and then if you just bring your knees up and over, come and sit up. So that's just a really basic run through of the floor position, the really simple floor position, just with the two types of poses, with the toes tucked up and the feet flat on the floor. So you can go through those three arm positions with either, feet on the floor, toes tucked up. And then for the proprioception, so that you can feel what your ribs are doing, just bringing the hands back onto your rib cage is really, really useful. And so you can practice that just to get into the rhythm of the breath. You can practice that to just get used to that pose, just to feel the rib stretch, to get a little bit more stretch through the rib cage and movement through there. So hopefully that's really helpful, and you can repeat that if you want to. Let me know how you got on in the comments, and I'll see you again soon.